What was the surprise at the end of the dark night of the soul? Someone sent me a story recently entitled A Cherokee Indian Legend. Well, I don't know if it's truly a Native American legend, but it is an interesting lesson about God's love for us. Listen. Do you know the legend of the Cherokee youth rite of passage? His father takes him into the forest, blindfolds him, and leaves him alone. He's required to sit on a stump the whole night and not remove the blindfold until the rays of the morning sun shine through it. He cannot cry out for help to anyone. Once he survives the night, though, he is a man. He cannot tell the other boys of this experience because each one must come into manhood on his own. The boy is naturally terrified. He can hear all kinds of noises. Wild beasts must surely be all around him. Maybe even some human might try to do him harm. The wind blows the grass and the earth and shakes the stump, but he sits stoically, never removing the blindfold. It would be the only way he could become a man. Finally, after a horrific night, the sun appears and he removes his blindfold. And it is then that he discovers his father sitting on the stump next to him. He had been at watch the entire night, protecting his son from harm. Well, obviously the father in the story is intended to represent God and his faithful care and ever-present love for his children. And the young man, I imagine, is supposed to represent each one of us, the child who God watches over and protects as we walk through this life, hoping to survive the terrors of the night, challenged to outlast the darkness and wait patiently for the sunrise when we discover that we've not been alone at all, but that God has been watching our back all along. Well, it's a well-meaning story, but not a perfect analogy, I think. I don't see God's children walking blindly through life only to pull off the blindfold at the end of the tunnel and be surprised that God was always with them, guarding and protecting them. I think that the reason the children of God get through the darkness and come into the light in the first place is because they have known all along that God was with them. Knowing that God exists and that he loves me and walks with me through life's hardest trials is what gets me through a dark night. Knowing that when I step into the light, that he will still be there is what gives me hope. Knowing that I don't have to pass a test to become all I can become. That Jesus already took that test for me and passed it for me. That is what gives me courage to carry on. Maybe what the story is really trying to say is that in those times when things get so tough that imagining God in the situation seems almost impossible, it doesn't mean he is not there. Whatever this legend was intended to teach us, there is one truth to be found in it for sure. Even in the darkest midnight of your soul, when you can't see God, never forget, he can see you. See you soon.